Thanks for staying up late with us this evening. Already tonight, IMPD is investigating several shootings across our city. And families are hoping for a calmer weekend than what we all saw last Friday through Sunday. There were 17 shootings with 7 people killed in just 72 hours. Tonight, our big story begins with a 16-year-old who miraculously survived last weekend's violence and hopes to see a change in our city.
16-year-old Jamese Cox spent 5 days here at Eskenazi Hospital recovering after being shot last Saturday outside a funeral. Jamese is home now, but the bullet is still inside her.
Eventually, it'll rise up to the top, maybe. But if it don't, then, hey, we're stuck together.
That's how Jamese Cox looks at the bullet now lodged in one of her ribs. A painful reminder for the Crispus Attucks High School junior that
these days, nowhere safe.
Not even a funeral. Jamese was shot last Saturday outside this Northwest funeral home, along with 4 others, including her 4-year-old cousin, Azaria Glasper. This is video Jamese took while sitting in a car outside the funeral home. Then you see her end it abruptly and look out the window. That's because the 16-year-old says she heard people arguing and then gunshots. But instead of taking cover in the car where she was, Jamese got out.
Me, I had to think about like my siblings. I have little siblings and cousins that were out there.
Jamese says she ducked down and ran to her cousin's car where little Azaria was in the back seat.
And when I stood up, you can feel a width of air just go into my chest. I did not know I was shot, but I seen Azaria in the back seat and she was kind of tilting, so I see her bleeding and stuff, so I try to go and get my mom and everybody because like Azaria's shot.
Jamese says she could still hear gunshots when she started to run to get help for her little cousin. Then
I dropped to my knees and I just grabbed my chest basically because like it started burning. So I was just like, I'm shot.
Jamese says the bullet still inside of her is the same one that hit Azaria.
When it came through the front window and went across her head basically and went inside of her head and it came past and kept going and went in my chest.
The bullet collapsed the teen's lung and broke 2 of her ribs. And despite it all,
I wouldn't change nothing that I did.
That's because Jamese was trying to protect people she loves. Her message for the person responsible who hasn't been arrested yet.
You might be angry, but it's not just one way to solve something. You can go a different route.
Our city has already devoted $3 million to crime prevention efforts. Now, we know the Office of Public Health and Safety is giving $300,000 to community groups this year. The American Rescue Plan sent an additional $140,000 for organizations targeting mental health challenges. And the American Rescue Plan also gave our city $419 million to use however they'd like over the next few years. Mayor Joe Hogsett is expected to outline his budget proposals in front of city leaders on Monday and reveal how much of that money he's devoting to solve the growing violence issue. You can read more about the money for crime prevention efforts right now. We've got it on our WTHR app. But for now, that wraps up tonight's big story.